This is it. This is the final video in the compression series. Today we will be encoding and then decoding a complete image example. Stick around to find out. Let's start. Here is an image. Firstly, let's convert it from RGB to YCBCR. Now, we apply 4.2.0 chroma subsampling. This results in the chroma channels being cut down to 1/4 of their original resolution. Now, let's work on the luminance component. We are working on the luminance component in this example, but the exact same process applies for the chroma channels too. Let's pick a random block in the luminance channel. Let's say this one. Now we subtract 128 from all the values. This will remap the matrix ranging from 0 to 255 into -128 to 127. Let's run the DCT on this. Running the DCT gives us a coefficient matrix. This coefficient matrix is then divided by the quantization table provided by the JPEG standard. Once we have divided it, we round all the values. This is the last step in lossy compression. We currently have a rounded, quantized DCT matrix at our disposal. Now we use run length and Huffman encoding to do the lossless compression. First off, let's separate the DC or 00 coefficient from the matrix and encode it in the method we previously discussed. The DC coefficient is converted into the bits needed for the number and the number itself. This gives us 3 and 5. A special Huffman table is provided to encode the DC bit lengths. So, using it, we convert the bit length into its representation, giving us 100. Next, we convert 5 into binary using the special binary method we discussed in the last video. The final encoding for DC coefficient 5 is 100-101. Let's move on to the AC coefficients. We run the zigzag traverser and arrange everything into an array. Now comes the fun part. We convert the number into its R, S and C form. So as an example, the number 10 over here is encoded as 0, 4, 10. This means no zeros precede 10. We need 4 bits to represent 10 and finally the number 10 itself. Doing this for all the non-zero coefficients gives us this. Now we convert this into binary representation using, you guessed it, the Huffman coding. You can find such a table with all the possible code values in any implementation of a JPEG algorithm. Huffman encoding along with the coefficient binary conversion gives us this sequence. And finally, we attach the encoded DC values at the very beginning, giving us a 49-bit string. That is all the information needed to represent 64 luminance values. That was quite the dose of information. Now, let's decode. We will compare the input and the compressed version at the end of this video. First off, we know that the 00 coefficient was encoded using a different tree. So let's bring it up. We start reading the bits and simultaneously decode them. Since Huffman trees are designed to have no repeating or overlapping patterns, we can simply traverse the bit string until we find a match. As you can see, the first 3 bits have matched up with a representation in the tree, so we can stop. Looking at our table, we see that 100 represents 3. This means the next 3 bits are the actual value of the DC coefficient. Doing binary conversion for these value bits results in the number 5. If we compare it with our uncompressed value, we can see that this is indeed true. Now let's see it in action. We see that as we read through the bits, we are also navigating in the Huffman tree concurrently. The next 4 bits 1011 have a value of 04 in the tree. This tells us we do not need to add any zeros in the sequence, and the coefficient we are currently decoding is 4 bits long. This means analyzing the next 4 bits gives us the value 10. Now let's just enjoy the decoding process for a moment. Take a look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Now, by running the reverse zigzag traverser, we can put these values back into the matrix. Once they are in the matrix, we can run the inverse DCT to convert the frequency coefficients into actual pixels. Then, remapping these values to the 0 to 255 range gives us the result. Doing the same process for the CB and CR channels and then recombining them into RGB channels gives us the final JPEG image. It is virtually identical. If we just look at the differences in the images, we can see they are close to 0. I have deliberately boosted the contrast to make any changes more visible. Had we not used any compression to store the values, we would have needed 512 bits just to represent 64 luminance values. Add the chroma channels on top of that, and no wonder the original image I showed was 95 megabytes in size. However, with the help of JPEG compression, we brought down this example from 512 bits to an absolutely minuscule 49 bits. That is just 9.5% of the original size. On top of that, we lost very little information. Isn't that just brilliant? So, that has been it for this series. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of JPEG compression. It was an extremely fun project. I will be posting more videos shortly, so stay subscribed. And as always, thanks for watching.